Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing some more Stormworks Build and Rescue. Let's see, the last several videos I have posted have been sort of me building a plane, and it has evolved. It has evolved from this propeller plane, which flies awesome, to this VTOL. I say VTOL just because these things, they pivot now. Yeah, and that's what I've been testing. So I'll show you the brain. Not much to it. These are number switches. These are mostly for the pivots. Yeah, and then I have these tilt sensors. The tilt sensors are for the roll. I have another tilt sensor for the pitch, and this is the altitude control. Altitude control is pretty easy, and this is the cockpit here. All right, so this video, we're just gonna do a full. We're gonna do a full flight from start to finish. Yeah, so still a little bit laggy here. That's all right. Yeah, so this hatch is set up on a timer. I don't know, so going back to the compressed gases, every room has a CO2 amount, has a deadly CO2 amount, right? And it has a gas amount, nitrogen and oxygen levels. So what I did is I have a buzzer here and a light. So when the CO2 hits 25, I don't know what the lethal level is. I haven't tested it. The buzzer will activate, and then I'll open the hatch. I was going to make the hatch automatic, but then I thought, that's probably not a good idea. So the buzzer will sound, and then I can just open the hatch, refresh the air, and then close the hatch. That's all that is, yeah. So what do we do here? Let's see, systems. Turn on the lights. We want our engine to be, I think 40 is what I was working at. Turn that on. Push the VTOL button. Stabilize roll. Stabilize pitch. This is based on altitude. I don't know. We can do 600. I think it can go higher than that. So what I'm working on now. So the VTOL, it's set to altitude. So when you go above, I think it's 55, it'll pivot and you'll turn into a plane, which is cool. And then so long as you're gaining altitude, everything will be fine. But what I'm working on now is the rudders. So it will climb altitude, and then it'll hit its target. But because the speed and motion that you have, it'll go beyond the target. So if the target is 600, it might go to 700 or 800 before the plane levels off, and it starts to decline. Then it'll decline until it hits your target, 600, and then it might take another 200 or 300, feet for the plane to level off and start to climb again. So jets are different, right? They're not low altitude. They're very, you want to use them at higher altitudes, especially when you're moving around for that. Once the plane dials itself in, it slows down. It might only go 50 feet above and below the target, but it'll never just sail exactly on the target. So that's what I'm working on now, is trying to adjust the rudder so it can be effective at low altitude. It can go up and down at low altitude and not crash into the ground. Reasonably low altitude, right? So with the propeller plane, I can hover right above the ground with it. It's super cool. But the jet it's different, right? It's really fast and stuff. It's just handles. So here we go. We're taking off. I'm not touching any of the controls, right? It's going to do it automatically. I don't have a destination, otherwise I would have punched that into the autopilot. So the plane will lean forward, and then it'll roll backwards. So what I did is right when it starts to roll backwards, I said, okay, that's when I want to go forwards. And I just estimated the altitude. I said, okay, at this altitude, I want the wings to go forward, right? So now if you keep the VTOL button on, anytime the plane goes below 50, the jet engines will maneuver and it will give you that lift-off thrust. Or you can just turn it off if you want and they won't pivot. Like if you're landing and you want to land and stop and you don't want the wings to pivot, you just turn the VTOL off. And I mean, that's it. Artificial horizon. I have a screen that has artificial horizon on it. I just haven't installed it yet. Like I say, I'm debating on making the fuselage wider so I can get rid of these tanks and make the plane look more, more of a plane. So, yeah. Probably what I'll do in the next 1 or 2. So this one here is a test flight, and I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do a crash landing into the ocean. I'll have to repair the engines, and then I want to see if I can take off from there. Now maybe if the weather is, oh yeah, see we went up to almost 1,000. Now we're going down to 600. So what was happening is that the rudder angle I was getting wasn't sufficient. See the angle we have? Like we're crashing. So, and I don't know why it won't. Oh boy. Dead. Right, that's pretty much what I've been working on. It's totally, it needs a totally different calibration to the turbines. Turbines is very fine. You can be very fine with it, but these jet engines, you can't be very fine. You have to be. And this is the same system that I have in the big jumbo jet that I have that we'll get rolling here soon. So yeah, it takes a while to spawn, takes a while to get the plane in. The idea behind this came from, I wanted to start to sell the jet fuel, and the airbase is on the other side of the current continent that I'm on. So I thought, okay, if I build a small plane and it has a little tank on it, I can just fill it full of jet fuel and I can fly over and I can sell it. But the problem with that was that it's like, okay, well then I need to buy the property, and it just wasn't feasible. So then I thought, okay, well maybe I can make it land on the water. And just the way the mechanics work, based on the size, right? Because we can only be so wide with the wings. So that means we can only be so wide with the body and all that kind of stuff, right? We can only carry so much weight. Unless I put a whole bunch of jet engines on it, it doesn't really look realistic, right? Yeah, and I wonder if that's... Let's see. So this is it. This is essentially what I've been doing. I'm cooking turkey right now. Yeah, I'm just doing stuff like this. Try that, see if that helps at all. The other thing, right, so the flaps. So what I have here is inside this fancy mess here. I have the flap angle. So maybe this needs to be like 0.2. So that's up. Oh yeah, because that's 0.4 is up, and this is down here. Negative is down, positive is up. And you saw the angle that it was going down on, right? So maybe we need like 0, 0, 1. I think that's right. This is our up value. And it's so sharp because at low altitude, I wanted it to be sharper going up than going down. So what I'm trying to do now is just dial in the flaps, right? I had to adjust the roll settings. They were too sensitive, and the plane was flying on an angle. So now instead of flying on an angle, I've got it to fly straight. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a crash landing there. It was supposed to be just a landing. But that's what I'm trying to figure out. It'll fly manually. But it seems here in the speed. See, we're not in push the button. They rotate. Now we're in the VTOL mode. Stabilize roll, stabilize pitch. Give us a height of 600. All right. That's that. Yeah, so I just need to find the right low angle rudder. Oh, it was to go up, wasn't it? Hold on, let's figure this out here. Maybe I messed up here. I don't want it to go down as sharp, but what we have for up is insufficient. Yeah, there we go. We'll crank it up to 6. All right, try that again. That'll work. We'll do that. So yeah, so I'm still trying to dial in the throttle. What throttle do I need to get it to fly? Those are all those fancy things, right? Do I need more throttle? Do I need less throttle? It seems like I need less throttle. It'll take off with less throttle. It takes a while for it to warm up and fly, but it'll fly at a far lower throttle, and it'll maneuver. And I find that, maybe the speed right now is just a bit too fast. Maybe we could try 30, maybe. Yeah, see, there's a sharper angle now on the rudders. Notice that? It'll just go right up. Oh. See if it's 38. Right, so I could land in the water with the propeller airplane. But as soon as it started to go, the propellers would drag the airplane under the water because the plane wants, and then you have the waves. So when you're trying to take off and you're hopping over the waves, you're going up and down, and every time you come down, you crash below the waves. So I thought, okay, the only effective way to do this is either with the helicopter, which I already have, or let's try and make a VTOL airplane. So I can land on the water close to wherever the rescue mission is, and then I can just take off right out of the water, right? If I make it a bit wider, I can put a bed in there for me. Then I can heal everybody, sleep in the bed till the weather gets better, and then take off. Yeah, see, it takes a while. At low speed, it takes a while to take off. But once see, now we're going. Here we go. See that? What's that, 38 throttle? I was using 40 before. So this is what I'm trying to determine now. Okay, what's the throttle? Right, what is the proper angle for the... see, now we're going forward a little bit more. What's our altitude there? Oh, yeah. We're losing altitude a little bit. So it looks like we need at least 40. Can't do 39. I should make that a little more sensitive. So here we go. So 40 is our takeoff. Whoa, it's a pretty sharp takeoff here. Maybe that's too much. Yeah, too much of an angle. So there we go. There we go. Now we gotta. I'll manually level it off here. I'll manually level it off. Yeah, see, it overshoots by quite a bit. So then what we'll do is we'll see if I can stabilize it here. And we'll set it to 950. All right. So now it should... See, maybe my rudder pitch isn't sufficient at this speed for it to, what about 950? There, now it'll bank down. There we go. Just like that. Went up a little high. But then we'll go down a little bit, but we should be able to bank right back up again without losing too much. Right, and as I said, jet airplanes are not real low altitude in Stormworks, just because, as you can see, we lost... Trying to correct, we lost 100 altitude. So if we're really close to the ground, now we need to gain 150 in altitude. So that's just a combination of throttle and this and that. So. Yeah, I may need to make that even less sharp. I don't know. See, we're still losing. We're still losing. Maybe this needs to go up a little bit. Or it needs to come back a little bit. We're cruising now. Maybe we need to dial our speed back a little bit. Right, so we'll just do this, and then I'll go into the sea, and we'll see if we can take off. And that'll be it for this one. We went way up that time, over 1,000. Yeah, well, I'll have to look into that. As you can see, it doesn't take much. Once that rudder starts to turn, it starts to turn. And that was pretty good. What are we at, 35? Yeah, look at that. So that seems to be our range. That seems to be our range. And now we're correcting and we're going back up. That seems to be our range. That's not bad. I'm sure if I throttle this back a little bit more to 30. We might not be able to climb as fast, and then it might level off a bit easier. Oh, yeah. Didn't go anywhere over that. That's a better speed. Right, so the cruising speed is a lot slower than our regular speed, but as you can see, it is possible to find that balance. Hopefully. This is what I'm up to. This is what I'll be doing. And a lot of it is maybe balancing the weight. Maybe I'm overweight. I'm just a little overweight for it. And this is like, you know, see, we're still within our approximate range. Now we're just going down. See, if I turn off stabilize pitch and do it manually at full, at 1, it's not enough. We're still losing altitude. So that's the only way to do it. It has to be one. All right, well, let's stitch into the ocean. I'll need one of these. Oh, splash. We lost both engines. All right. Fortunately, we're still in VTOL mode. Whoa. Just let that settle for a minute. We are in the deep, deep ocean. I wonder if that's because of that. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Yeah, when I was testing it closer to shore, there was a goat in the water. And as I was repairing it, some sharks came and ate the goat. I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh yeah, it's really wavy here. Ooh, look at that. Really wavy. So hopefully it lets me take off in the whole thing is that they're underwater. So I don't know what part can touch the water and what part can't touch the water. I guess I'm going to find out right now. I mean, if I was in a hurry, I'd just throttle up. As we start to rise, I can throttle down. Oh, we're starting to go up now. Oh, no idea why it's flipping. Yeah, so I'm gonna need some more stability, things on here, which is all right. That's what I'm trying to figure out now is what additional things I'll need to put on here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope everybody's having a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah, I might put out 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 more in the next couple of days. Hopefully more with commentary. Yeah, and essentially this is what I'm doing. I've got the oil rig, which is producing another batch, and I'm waiting for the mine to replenish. So between those three things, testing the airplane, maybe I'll do a couple rescue missions when it's ready to go. But obviously there's a little bit more calibrating to be done. So thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And we will see you hopefully before the new year. Bye.